When I first started Ear Candy, I came across a few startling statistics. Arizona was dead last in per person educational funding in the country. 50% of schools in Arizona had no budget for curricular support in arts education. And of those schools that had a budget, 79% of them spent less than $1 per student per year on arts education, which equates to about a half a penny a day. Not only were these numbers baffling to me, but I could not find an organization helping the tens of thousands of youth who wanted to participate in their school's music program but were not able to. Ear Candy Charity was created to fulfill the mission of providing every youth access to music education. Music education is an essential component of a well-rounded childhood education and facilitates the development of confident, culturally enlightened members of society. Many students naturally gravitate to music and want to participate in their school's music program. Not only that, but when youth have access to music education, their self-esteem increases, academic performance improves, team building and social skills develop, they are more likely to graduate from high school, and the probability of positive lifetime outcomes is enhanced. And what is truly amazing about music education is that while it does have a value in and of itself, it turns out that music education actually helps youth to develop socially, emotionally, and academically. Some of the best evidence from this comes from research of neuroscientists who have shown that music education enhances the process of learning in young minds. With this knowledge about the power of music in a child's life, I was determined to do all that I could do to ensure youth have the opportunity to participate in music education. And out of this determination to do something, Ear Candy was born. Ear Candy's goal is to equip, enlighten, and empower youth. We equip youth with instruments they need to participate in a music program. We enlighten youth by sharing the vast benefits of a life rich in music. And we empower youth to develop into culturally enlightened members of society. We accomplish these goals through our unique programs, Instrument Drives and Backstage Class. After meeting with a collection of music teachers in a low-income school district, I learned that one of the greatest resources preventing youth from participating in their school's music program was the lack of instruments. Due to budget cuts and a challenging economy, not all schools or parents could afford to rent or purchase instruments for the youth wanting to participate. To address this problem, Ear Candy created Instrument Drives to provide children in public schools with instruments they otherwise would not have access to. Knowing that half the solution to the music education crisis might be collecting dust in someone's closet, an instrument drive was the most logical way to efficiently and effectively engage the community in supporting music education. We called it Giving Old Instruments New Life. In the past, Ear Candy hosted physical instrument drives with donation sites spread throughout Arizona. We have transitioned to an online model that allows us to serve youth in areas we were previously unable to serve. Instrument donors can now browse our online system to uncover a program's need for musical instruments. The system provides background information about a program, a description about the students being served, what their needs are, and even shows pictures of the students. A donor can select the program with what they want their instrument to impact. And since every instrument has a story, the donor can share the history of their instrument so that students and teachers can further benefit from their donation. As a result of this new system, Ear Candy's involvement is no longer limited by geography. We now have the ability to place instruments from Seattle, Washington to Harlem, New York, and all on the same day. Now our only limitation is the lack of resources and human capital available to advance the organization's operations. In order to further enrich the music education experience, Ear Candy hosts music-based field trips called Backstage Class. These provide children a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to allow them to experience music in a unique and impactful way. The field trips are designed to be eye-opening events that have included outings to concerts, recording studios, radio stations, and instrument manufacturers. The children have even participated in sound checks and meet and greets with major recording artists. The goal of Backstage Class is to inspire youth to think about music in a new way. Ear Candy challenges students to consider options like performing music professionally, becoming a music teacher, or even being a business professional who participates in the music industry. There are many ways to combine a passion like music or art or whatever they are interested in with the skills they develop and refine to ultimately live an inspired life. Our goal is to expose them to professional applications of their passions and the opportunities that exist for them outside of the school walls. We have done an excellent job of impacting youth in Arizona, and we are well positioned to expand our proven, successful, community-driven model to other areas of the country. There is a national need for music education and the resources Ear Candy can provide. We have an obligation to bring our online instrument drive model to communities across the country in need of a solution to budget cuts in music education. Throughout 2011, our team created and implemented an online instrument donation system to replace the physical instrument drive model, which relied on a large number of donation sites and complicated logistics. The online system has greatly decreased the amount of time required to donate an instrument, while increasing the number of instruments we're able to place, all while deepening the relationship with donors. Plus, they're able to connect directly with music programs that need their instrument. And the beauty of the system is that we can replicate this in any other community throughout the country. Ear Candy is currently seeking resources that will allow us to expand our online instrument drive system and backstage class field trips into other regions of the country. In the past, we successfully partnered with major artists on national tours, yet we are unable to host backstage class field trips or efficiently and effectively place instruments in schools outside of Arizona. With the new system in place, we are now able to place instruments in markets where artists are performing and host backstage class field trips in conjunction with their tours. Our goal is to have teams of Ear Candy staff traveling the country providing backstage class field trips while promoting the online instrument drive system in partnership with major recording artists who will provide complimentary marketing. Program-specific staffing, additional online system development, reliable transportation, and a healthy operations budget will be critical to serving new donors, teachers, and community partners effectively. At Ear Candy, we strive to continually evaluate our business model to ensure we are delivering our mission in the most effective and efficient way possible. This means striving for the same level of excellence many for-profit companies achieve by leveraging all available resources. Consequently, Ear Candy has created a vehicle to allow communities to address a complex social issue by simply recycling resources that are already available but are collecting dust in closets and garages. The success of the program is completely dependent upon communities knowing it exists and clearly understanding the value in donating instruments and funds to the cause. It has been proven that music education can provide lifelong benefits to students, such as increasing self-esteem, developing team building and social skills, and improving academic performance, leading to a higher graduation rate. Before an instrument is placed with a music program, Ear Candy ensures it is in optimal playing condition. We accomplish this through a combination of organizational funds and individual donations. Once placed, the instrument belongs to the school to be used to their best discretion. Ear Candy relies on music teachers to determine the level of impact the instruments have on their students. Many of the instruments, like a clarinet or a violin, impact just 1 or 2 students a year, while others, like guitars or rhythm instruments, are great communal instruments that may impact multiple children throughout a school year. The amazing thing about instruments is that they stay with the music programs and are able to serve a new group of students each year. As long as the student, teacher, and school provide quality care for the instrument, there is no limit on how long or how many students can be impacted by an instrument. This annual compounding impact provides an incredible multiplying effect for every instrument placed. Ear Candy knows how important a musical instrument can be to an individual or a family. Many times, multiple generations have learned to play on the same instrument. To honor that intrinsic value, we ensure that every instrument donor has the opportunity to share their story online. The system allows them to share their stories and connects them with new ones created by the students. In this way, we're able to capture the journey of an instrument by giving an old instrument new life. This process deepens the relationship between Ear Candy, the donors, and the schools. By engaging the community, providing a strong return on investment for donors, all while leveraging technology to accomplish the mission and deepen the relationship. Ear Candy is creating impressive dividends for youth hungry for music education they deserve. In our first few years, Ear Candy impacted more youth than any other music education focused nonprofit in Arizona. By understanding the needs of educators, we developed effective ways to equip, enlighten, and empower youth. Music educators shared with Ear Candy that their greatest need, next to larger school budgets, was musical instruments. The lack of instruments created waiting lists to get into a music program that prevented many students from participating each year. Originally, Ear Candy created instrument drives to address these needs with a simple model where donors took their old instruments they no longer used and gave them new life by placing them into the hands of a child. This model allowed tens of thousands of youth previously unable to participate in music programs the ability to join their classmates in the joy of learning and playing music. Additionally, before we place an instrument, we make sure that a school has a reliable music teacher in place to provide high-quality instruction. The vast benefits of music education are proven, from heightened academic performance to more developed social skills. Ear Candy equips youth with the instruments and the music teachers to enlighten them. Ear Candy is also a firm believer that there are many things that can be learned outside of a classroom, and thus we created Backstage Class field trips. These field trips are designed to be eye-opening events that have included outings to concerts, recording studios, radio stations, and instrument manufacturers, as well as participating in sound checks and attending meet and greet events with major recording artists. Prior to going on a field trip, the youth are prepared with a pre-designed lesson plan to get them thinking about their upcoming adventure. Every field trip includes interactive teaching from industry professionals full of lessons that simply could not be experienced in a traditional classroom setting. After the field trip, an evaluation takes place that allows the students and teachers time to share what they learned from their experience. The goal of Backstage Class is to inspire youth to think about music in a new light. Students may eventually go on to perform music professionally, become a music teacher, or even a business professional in the music industry. There are many ways to combine a passion like music or art or whatever they are interested in with the skills they develop and refine them to ultimately live an inspired and empowered life. Ear Candy's primary metric of success is the positive outcome we achieve in the lives of youth. We measure the impact of Backstage Class field trips by the number of youth attending. To measure the outcome of instrument donations, Ear Candy relies on the music teachers to determine the number of students participating in music education classes as a result of the donated instrument. Many instruments, like a clarinet or a violin, may have an individual effect, while others, like guitars or rhythm instruments, are great communal instruments since many children can use them throughout the school year. Each teacher is required to estimate the impact of each instrument they request through our online system. Once the instrument is placed, these numbers are confirmed on an annual basis to ensure instruments are still being used and properly maintained by a music program. A teacher cannot request additional instruments until they have completed this simple follow-up process. These numbers are posted on our homepage, on the Ear Candy website, and also presented in each individual school's program page. We are proud of these numbers, but they are only a small part of what we consider to be success. When a teacher tells us that after decades without a music program, Ear Candy has enabled their school to offer music again, that is success. When a child takes it upon him or herself to write a thank you letter to Ear Candy that lets us know how excited they are about the instrument and that they now have an opportunity to play, that is success. That is what keeps us pushing forward. So the real success of Ear Candy is found in the countless stories we collect from students, teachers, and donors who have experienced the joy of sharing music with each other. Here is a great example of a testimonial from a student who really explains how important music is to him and his school. I want to be a professional trumpet player. I want to be a professional trumpet player because I want to show everyone how I play. The trumpet is cool in a lot of ways. The way it sounds, the way it looks is cool to me. That is why I want to be a professional trumpet player, and that is why the trumpet is cool. Without music, there would be nothing here. Music is everything. Without music, there are no trumpets, no guitars, no nothing. That is why music is important to me. An aspect of Ear Candy that is commonly misinterpreted is the fact that we are not a typical programming organization, meaning we do not have a team of music instructors hosting music programs or giving private lessons. In the beginning, we were still finding our way as an organization, and we attempted to host some music programs of our own. While the programming we did was fine, we quickly found out that there are many fantastic organizations out there that do an incredible job delivering music instruction. The strength of our organization lies in providing the resources, the musical instruments that are necessary for a program to exist. Before we place an instrument in a school, we do research to ensure that there is a reliable music instructor in place who is dedicated to delivering high-quality music education. We found our strength as an organization is in leveraging community resources to equip these instructors and their students with the resources they need. Another aspect of our operation that seems to be glossed over by many is the cost of repairing and placing instruments. Many instrument donors learn of Ear Candy, realize they have an instrument lying around, and donate it without the thought of its condition or whether a child will actually be able to play it in its current condition. Ear Candy is grateful for their interest and participation in the program. On the other hand, it seems many financial donors looked at Ear Candy and thought what they really need is instruments, not money. After all, the instruments they place come to the organization for free. Ear Candy is desperate for a consistent funding to help offset the expenses of instrument repair, program development, and community outreach. The reality is, the more instruments Ear Candy collects and places, the more funds the organization needs to sustain operations. Without funds and instruments, Ear Candy does not exist. We are working hard to get this critical message out to the community, but at the same time, we are strategizing how best to leverage the online system to create significant revenue streams to sustain our operations. We realize that partnering with the right recording artist on a national tour has the potential to bring in millions of dollars to cover all aspects of the operations. In the long term, we hope to address individual instrument needs of talented students. We rely on the school and teachers to determine the best use of an instrument. And if they decide to allow a student to continue with an instrument donated by Ear Candy, we will not stop that student's growth with that instrument. Eventually, we hope to offer scholarships for individuals where teachers could apply on behalf of their student to receive a new or refurbished instrument that is permanently gifted to the student as long as they continue their education and report progress back to the teacher and Ear Candy. I started Ear Candy Charity in late 2007, just as the economy was beginning to shift. The following several years, the country entered into a recession, and it was a trying time for nonprofits, especially startup nonprofits like Ear Candy. Despite the ever-challenging financial landscape, we found a way to leverage resources to not only survive, but to thrive. And since our founding, we have more than doubled our impact every year. We have also been able to create a mutually beneficial partnership with Arizona State University, which provides the donated office space for our headquarters. In the middle of difficulty, Ear Candy found opportunity and reached a level of strength and stability, allowing for a growing team of paid full-time employees. During the startup years, we were forced to focus on our strengths, recognize our weaknesses, and build a solid infrastructure aligned with the long-term vision of the organization. We are confident the model we have built is replicable and scalable, and have invested many resources to make this a reality. There is a huge market of children out there, communities needing what we have built. Now is the time to expand and invest in the national vision of Ear Candy. Ear Candy is currently in the best position we have ever been. We are acquiring the resources to allow us to be proactive instead of reactive. It's an exciting time for us and our investors. In 2008, Ear Candy created our first instrument drive, which consisted of a few local businesses acting as donation sites. Over time, the model evolved and expanded as we partnered with area fire departments, which led to maintaining over 80 donation sites throughout the Phoenix metropolitan area. We increased the number of donation sites because the demand for instruments was rapidly increasing, and we wanted to provide donors an easy way to donate their instrument. We collected any and all types of instruments, including some that needed major repair and some that were just well beyond repair. Throughout this growth, we were committed to creating strong relationships with our donors, so we tracked every instrument and notified them where their instrument was making an impact. There is a great deal of work involved with every instrument donation, from collection to inventory to placement to follow-up. We were averaging up to 4 hours of labor per instrument. We utilized volunteers as much as possible, but even management of them prevented our small 3-person team from making strides in other areas of our organizational growth. Some instruments were taking months to donate, and this was unacceptable from our standards. Knowing that our long-term vision is national expansion, we teamed up with Yo Gabba Gabba Live to host an instrument drive in conjunction with their kickoff concert in Minneapolis. I flew to Minneapolis and lined up a partnership with the city's area fire stations. Serving as donation sites, they collected instruments that were helping Minneapolis public schools, and ultimately we helped over 300 kids. We felt there was potential in replicating this instrument drive model on a larger scale. So when the Moody Blues approached us about partnering with their U.S. tour, we agreed to line up instrument drives in 13 markets across the country. We saw this as an exciting opportunity for Ear Candy to partner with megastars who have sold over 100 million records throughout their 40-year career. With their support, we were certain these instrument drives would be a huge success. What could go wrong? Well, we learned that hosting physical instrument drives remotely in 13 cities without donation sites already in place was a major challenge. Some markets like Phoenix and Minneapolis were a huge success, while others flopped, bringing in minimal donations for the great efforts to arrange them. What we learned from the expansion of physical instrument drives with donation sites in our local market and testing in others is that we needed to get out of the middle. Instrument donors really want to connect with the music teachers and students. Ear Candy is merely a means to that end. Providing a convenient physical donation site location was actually limiting their connection with the students they were helping. And the logistics of our operations were slowing the placement process, which also hindered the donor's connection with the program being impacted. This is why we created an online instrument drive model, which allows the donor to search for a program in need of their specific instrument donation. They can pick their own program by reading about the school, the students, and their needs. Ear Candy provides a connection between the community member and the resources the schools are in need of. We then built into that system inventive ways for donors and teachers to help fund instrument repairs, ensuring that no child is given a non-functional instrument, which may do more harm than good. Overall, we have greatly decreased the amount of time required to place an instrument, increased the number of instruments we're able to place, all while deepening our relationship with our donors who were able to connect directly with the music program they were impacting through their donation. With the online instrument drive system, Ear Candy's ability to impact youth is no longer limited by geography. We now have the ability to place an instrument in Portland, Maine, and in Portland, Oregon in the same day. Ear Candy's only limitation is the resources and human capital available to the organization's operations. For this reason, we are currently seeking funding to expand our online instrument drive system into other regions of the country. There is a huge demand for instruments in countless classrooms across the country, and we have a solution which can be replicated to help all these students in need. In order to do so, we will need to invest in program-specific staffing, a larger office, and some additional system development to handle teacher requests and donor pledges nationwide. The operations associated with this function of the organization will be hosted in a single location, serving as a customer service base. We have built effective tools communities can use to generate teacher and donor activity, as well as equip community groups to host their own instrument drives, which interfaces with the online system. The system is in place and the organization is ready. It is time to take this to the next level. Secondly, we will expand our backstage class field trip model into areas where we are placing instruments, providing youth an opportunity to discover a life where they can pair their passion with skills and education is an inspiring experience. Ear Candy will need to hire a full-time backstage class director to expand and develop our current program curriculum and teaching materials. The person will be responsible for equipping teachers and community partners looking to host field trips with a start-to-finish solution full of educational lessons for the youth experiencing the field trips. Our third priority is to expand relationships with major artists. We have had great successes partnering with many large-name artists such as the Moody Blues, Eric Clapton, Chick Corea, and Yo Gabba Gabba Live. Established musicians understand the importance of music education and know firsthand the benefits it can produce. Ear Candy can partner with major artists to promote the organization in many ways through their fan base and national tours. With the online donation drive in place and backstage class curriculum developed, we were able to place instruments in markets where artists are performing and host field trips in conjunction with their tours. We can also wrap fundraising activities into their tour to create sustainable revenue streams. Vehicles such as $1 donation per ticket sold, VIP packages for auction and raffle, as well as limited edition co-branded merchandise can be used to raise funds by targeting the artist's fan base. Our goal is to have a team of Ear Candy staff traveling the country providing backstage class field trips while promoting the online instrument donation system in partnership with the artists, providing complementary marketing and revenue creation. Program-specific staffing, reliable transportation, a healthy operations budget, and access to enlightened artists and management teams who believe in the Ear Candy mission will be essential in making this a reality. Lastly, we will not have to physically be wherever we are placing instruments. We can be headquartered wherever it makes most sense for the organization. This could potentially be in a market with strong philanthropic arts giving, community music appreciation, and access to industry professionals to create mutually beneficial partnerships. There's currently no other organization fulfilling the mission of Ear Candy in the progressive, visionary manner we are. We are extremely well situated to take our successful model nationwide and become a household name, providing millions of youth access to the music education they deserve. Eventually, Ear Candy would like to take a more active role in advocating for music education. If musical instruments represent half the solution to music education, then teacher salaries and strong community support for music education must be the other half of this equation. Shrinking budgets are a huge concern to all educators, students, parents, and society at large. If we are not investing in education, we will not be able to pay for it long term. When Ear Candy is a national organization impacting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of youth, we will have a stronger and more prominent voice in advocacy for all education, especially the arts. Another milestone in the distance for Ear Candy would be to establish the Ear Candy Foundation, which would be able to help talented individual students obtain new instruments and scholarships.